On November 15, 2025, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, will host a welterweight showdown that has the boxing world buzzing. Devin Haney, 32-0, 15 KOs, challenges WBO welterweight champion Brian Norman Jr., 28-0, 22 KOs, in a Riyadh season main event. This clash of undefeated stars pits Haney's technical mastery against Norman's devastating knockout power. With fans and analysts split on the outcome, this fight promises high-stakes drama. Can Haney outbox a dangerous puncher in his first true test at 147 pounds? Or will Norman deliver a career-defining knockout? Here's a deep dive into the matchup, the fighters' paths, and a shocking prediction that could shake the boxing landscape. The fighters, contrasting paths to glory. Devin Haney, 26, is a former undisputed lightweight champion, 135 pounds, and WBC super lightweight champion, 140 pounds. His resume boasts wins over elite fighters like Vasily Lomachenko, George Kambosos Jr., and Regis Prograis, whom he dominated in December 2023 to claim the WBC 140-pound title. Haney's 2024 bout against Ryan Garcia ended in a no contest after Garcia tested positive for Osterine, but Haney's performance, marked by 3 knockdowns endured, raised questions about his chin. His May 2025 unanimous decision over Jose Ramirez was criticized as lackluster, with fans and analysts like Bob Arum calling him a track star for excessive movement. Haney's style relies on a sharp jab, elite footwork, and clinching to neutralize opponents. But at welterweight, he faces bigger, stronger foes. Brian Norman Jr., 24, is the WBO welterweight champion, having claimed the interim title with a stunning 10th-round knockout of Giovanni Santillan in May 2024. After Terence Crawford vacated the belt to move to super welterweight, Norman was elevated to full champion. He defended his title with a 3rd-round stoppage of Derek Cuevas in March 2025 and a brutal 5th-round knockout of Jin Sasaki in June 2025, a fight considered a knockout of the year contender. Norman's relentless pressure, long reach, 72 inches, and power in both hands make him a nightmare at 147 pounds. His ability to cut off the ring, as seen against Sasaki, has drawn comparisons to Gennady Golovkin's stalking style. However, his relative inexperience against elite outboxers like Haney is a question mark. The build-up, Riyadh season's blockbuster. Announced by Turki Al-Sheikh on June 29, 2025, this fight headlines a Riyadh season card expected to feature stars like David Benavidez and Abdullah Mason. The Saudi-backed event, streamed on DAZN and ESPN, underscores Al-Sheikh's push for high-action bouts with a directive against Tom and Jerry fights, code for excessive running. Haney's father and trainer, Bill Haney, and Norman's manager, Adrian Clark, confirmed the verbal agreement in June with negotiations finalized by early July. The press conference in Riyadh saw heated exchanges, with Norman promising a knockout and Haney vowing to school him. Social media buzz exploded, with fans like @RayJack9, 7010720 predicting a Norman KO, and others like @Walsum_55 backing Haney for a lopsided decision. The stakes are massive. For Haney, a win would make him a 3-division champion, cementing his pound-for-pound status. For Norman, a victory over a high-profile name like Haney would establish him as the welterweight division's top dog, especially with Jaron Ennis moving to 154 pounds and Manny Pacquiao challenging for the WBC belt at 46. Style matchup, technician versus Terminator. Haney's game plan will likely mirror his past performances. Use his 71-inch reach to jab from distance, move laterally to avoid exchanges, and clinch when pressured. His 234 professional rounds give him an experience edge over Norman's 100, and his wins over movers like Lomachenko show he can handle aggressive fighters. However, Haney's lack of knockout power, 46.9% KO rate, and recent gun-shy performance against Ramirez, where he was criticized for running, suggest vulnerabilities. Gary Antoine Russell told Cigar Talk that Haney is damaged from the Garcia fight, predicting he'll struggle if Norman lands clean shots. Norman, with a 78.6% KO rate, is a pressure fighter who excels at closing distance. His knockout of Sasaki showcased his ability to overwhelm opponents with long-range power shots and bodywork. Unlike Haney's past opponents, Norman rehydrates to around 160 pounds, giving him a size advantage. His footwork, while not as polished as Haney's, is effective at cutting off the ring, as seen in his 2024 upset over Santillan. Critics like Regis Prograis, who picked Haney to win, argue Norman's opposition, Santillan, Cuevas, Sasaki, lacks the pedigree of Haney's resume, but Norman's youth and momentum make him dangerous. The X factors: power, chin, and ring size. The biggest question is whether Haney can withstand Norman's power. Haney was rocked by Garcia's left hooks and showed caution against Ramirez, suggesting a shaky chin at higher weights. Norman, who has never been dropped, hits harder than anyone Haney has faced, including Garcia. Timothy Bradley's bizarre advice to Norman, using chickens as sparring partners to mimic Haney's movement, underscored the challenge of catching a slick boxer. However, Norman's ability to trap opponents could neutralize Haney's footwork, especially if Alalshik mandates an 18-foot ring, as Romero suggested, to limit Haney's escape routes. Haney's clinching tactics, effective against Prograis, may falter against Norman's physicality. Norman's long arms and relentless pressure could turn clinches into opportunities for uppercuts or body shots. Conversely, Haney's experience in 12-round fights gives him an edge in pacing, while Norman's longest bout was 10 rounds against Santillan. The intangibles: motivation and pressure. Haney's motivation is clear. A third world title would silence critics after his lackluster Ramirez fight and the Garcia no contest. His $10 million purse against Ramirez and a likely higher payday here, courtesy of Alalshik, add financial incentive. However, his reluctance to engage post-Garcia suggests mental scars, with Russell claiming he's cowering. Norman, meanwhile, is riding a wave of confidence after 3 straight knockouts. At 24, he's hungry to prove he's more than a puncher, but his inexperience against elite technicians could be a hurdle. Alalshik's influence looms large. His praise for Haney's willingness to fight anyone contrasts with his disdain for running, putting pressure on Haney to engage. Norman, backed by top ranks Bob Arum, faces expectations to deliver a fan-friendly KO. The Saudi crowd, accustomed to action-packed Riyadh season cards, will demand a spectacle, adding psychological weight to both fighters. Why this matters? This fight is a crossroads for both men. A Haney victory would make him a 3-division champion, restoring his stock after recent pinpointing. Norman would vault him into the welterweight elite, potentially setting up blockbuster fights with Romero or Roach. A Norman win solidifies his status as a division leader and could lead to a unification bout. On November 15, 2025 in Riyadh, one man's zero will go, and the boxing world will witness a new chapter in the welterweight saga. Norman by KO is the call. Mark it down for a night that could redefine both careers. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more content. Thank you.